Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. Mallory had an interesting morning because she actually had a doctor's visit, and the doctor was in Charlotte.
Yep.
And it was a virtual visit, obviously, because we're here. And Mal was like in her room, like ready, sitting there.
When I made this appointment, I was talking to the gentleman on the phone, and he's like, oh, is it okay for you to come all the way out here? I was like, yeah, I live in Myrtle Beach. And I was like, so, I'd rather do a virtual appointment so I don't have to drive 4 hours. I was like, but, if I have to, then I need a later in the day appointment so I can drive the 4 hours to Charlotte. And he's like, all right, here's your appointment for 9. Be here at 8, or be ready at 8:30 for the phone call. And then I got a text message that was like, text us when you're here. And I was like, I'm ready. So this may be just automated because of COVID. And I was like, here. And it was like, great, come in. And I was like, okay. So I called and they were like, yeah, it doesn't say anything about virtual on your account. It's like, cool.
They were like, we thought you were lost. I'm like, yee.
It's the whole hospital. So it's somewhere in the hospital is where their office was.
Yeah, it's just, that's the sort of thing that you want them to have like figured out. So when they don't have figured out, you're like, oh.
They said, they're like, we're going to do some follow-ups and find out why it didn't tell us you were virtual. I was like, okay.
Hopefully they get that figured out. I'm mushing up some avocados. We're going to have some avocado toast this morning. Speaking of the morning, I guess it still counts as morning. I've been up for a while. I hate to bring down the vlogs, but I want to keep folks kind of up to date on how I'm doing in terms of sleep and stuff. And it's not great. I've continued to do the no caffeine challenge. I haven't been taking any caffeine in. By the way, just to clarify something, that doesn't mean that I don't want to have caffeine ever again. I plan to have caffeine again. I just am cutting it out for a time to better understand how it affects my body. I'm not going to live a life without caffeine. At least I don't plan on it, at least right now. But I've done that. Kep's feeder is working. It was actually really funny. I was awake this morning. I had been awake for a little bit because I woke up at some point. The toast is done. And his thing was set to go off at 7. And it was right before it went off. Right before it went off, Kep woke up. He had been on the bed. And he woke up, and I must have moved just enough for him to know that I was awake. So he woke up, and he was starting to walk up the bed to get to where I was, because he was going to wake me up. He didn't know I was already awake. And as he was on his way up to where I was, the thing went off and dispensed the food. And he stopped and ran. He was like, oh, yeah. And then he ran into the kitchen and ate. So he ended up not even doing anything to wake me up. But again, he's not the one that woke me up. I just woke up. So, yeah, I don't know. I still haven't figured this out. I actually didn't take anything to sleep last night. I considered it, and then I ended up forgetting. So I didn't take any Benadryl or anything. I don't know. Again, I had talked the other day about how my last resort would be sleeping in the other room. And I might try that, but again, I don't know if that's even the problem. I don't know if I'm just waking up on my own. So I don't know if maybe I should be using a sleep aid. Part of it, I think, maybe is I might be waking up earlier. I don't know if that's just a thing that your body can do sometimes is, your body gets in a weird phase where it just wants to wake up sooner. If that's the case, then the best way to counteract what I'm dealing with would be to go to bed sooner. So I might try that too. Either way, I'm doing all right. And again, it's not completely ruining my life, but it does mean that I have to take naps and stuff, and I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather just do all my sleep at once, but I'm dealing with it. As far as my vertigo and stuff goes today, mild, just a little mild. I haven't really had any overt ear pain today, but we'll see how it goes. I think this is properly mashed now. I'm still working on mine, but
that's because you have to microwave your avocado.
Listen, it's a thing.
It's so gross.
Everyone's got a preference.
Oh. One time I made the mistake of licking the spoon after when it was warm like that.
Everybody's.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after I made you breakfast, the way you eat the thing is gross. For this one, I had it set to 2 portions, so it went off, and then it was like, oh yeah, here's a little more. I also read in the manual that the first 10 could be slightly deviated from like the normal amount.
Yeah.
And then after that, it should be normal.
Weird.
Which is weird. I don't know why. Whatever. Anyway, it should resolve itself. But he comes when it goes off. And what's so interesting about this, and I think this will be of interest to anyone that's been kind of considering a pet feeder, is that Kep, we've only had this thing set up for a day.
Yeah.
Kep has begged me for food a little bit less than he has in the past, because now, and I've noticed this, again, it's been a day.
This is day 2 of him.
This is day 2. He walks up to the feeder now. It used to be that he would go up to me and beg, and now he just comes, and it's almost like an altar. He prays before this feeder. Like, he'll come in here and just sit and stare at it, and like, he doesn't know how it works. He doesn't know why it gives him food or when exactly, but he comes in here and he just sits and looks at it like, I know that this thing will give me food. I just don't know when or why. And it's just interesting because it's almost taking some of the, that pressure off of me, where he would just, follow me around and paw and be like, give food, give food. Some of that is already left. So that wasn't something I was thinking that we would get rid of by doing a feeder. But that has happened. And again, it's been one day, so I'm really looking forward to how it'll be in a week once he knows internally what the times are and, can start to expect it. Did you finish it, bud?
That was fast.
You finish it? Yes. Magic device gives food. I mean, it does. So, I think I had mentioned yesterday that I was going to try and solve my my vertigo / ear infection issues by maybe taking some Sudafed. I did take a Sudafed today, but I also started feeling worse, and my ear started hurting, and then getting hot. It's the best way I can describe it. Fevered, yeah. So I made the decision to just call the doctor, and because if I do have an ear infection, even if it's in the early stages, I should probably just get antibiotics, because that is almost certainly why I'm experiencing vertigo. If I can get my ear infection, fixed, then my vertigo should go away, and then I'll probably feel better. And again, that would be nice, because this is on top of all the other crap I'm already dealing with. I'm still trying to recover from sleep deprivation. I'm also not sleeping enough because of reasons unbeknownst to me. So, there's already a bunch of stuff going on. I really don't need an ear infection on top of it. So, I set up an appointment for tomorrow. So, I'm going to go to the doctor tomorrow, and hopefully they'll figure out what's up. I assume that I have an ear infection. Sometimes I've went to the doctor before, and it was like I went too early. they're like, you went too early. You know, you don't even have an ear infection.
And then 3 days later, you have a bad one.
And then, yeah, then I have a bad one. And then there's the opposite problem has happened where I was like, well, you know, I'll give it another day. And then I go and they're like, this is so bad. This is so bad.
How have you been living?
How have you been living? And I'm like, oh, no. Anyway, I'll probably get some antibiotics tomorrow and can start putting the dizziness behind me. It's right before bed. I'm trying to get a little food in my system. I'm just feeling just a little hungry, and I had, you know, a pretty big dinner. We had leftovers from of the fajitas, so like it was pretty hearty. But I don't know. I'm just hungry for some reason. I am trying to make sure that I get some quality sleep tonight. I already took a Benadryl. I'm ready for bed. And I'm not super tired because I ended up taking a nap earlier. It was actually, was it after dinner?
I don't remember.
I think it was before dinner. It might have been before dinner. I don't know. At some point, I got super tired just very suddenly. It was like, oh, I'm going to crash. And I laid down for a little bit. And, you know, I hate that I did that, but I could not stay awake. And as a result, now that I'm ready for bed, my body's not super tired, but it is hungry. So I took a Benadryl, eating a little cereal just so I have something in my stomach, and then I'm going to try it and sleep. For as bad as I felt today, because today wasn't like a great day, it was still pretty productive. I got a fair bit done. There was more I wanted to do, but I'll have to get around to that, I guess, tomorrow. For now, though, going to eat some stuff, go to bed, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. I got to go to the doctor. I got that appointment to find out if I really do have an ear infection, either one starting or one formed already. But we'll learn more tomorrow. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?